to another episode of Lead Up for Women, Speak Up to Lead Up. I'm so excited that you're here. We are in the middle of the holiday. Of course, when you are listening to this, we are in the first quarter of 2022, but know that we are in the middle of the holiday and we are on episode number 148. And we're going to be meeting Jessica Bargenquast today, talking all about women supporting women. But before we get to that, I'd like to talk about our sponsor and thank Hello World. Are you frustrated with your kids? Do you constantly worry about them? Or maybe you're just sick and tired of dealing with misbehaviors in your home. Well, have no fear. No Problem Parenting is here to help you turn an emotional or behavioral problem into a no problem while strengthening your relationship with your kids at the same time. You don't have to be the bad guy to get your kids to behave. Join the No Problem Parenting community, where you will find down-to-earth, practical, fun, no nonsense, and even bass-ackwards tips and ideas for how to deal with and overcome any parenting challenge. Go to noproblimparenting.com and get started now. Become the confident leader your kids crave you to be. I love that. And I love the way that Jackie Finneman, the owner, puts that, because no problem parenting is the way to go if you're a parent. Trust me. I'm just going to share that right now. So let me go ahead and jump in and introduce our guest for today so we can get into talking all about women, supporting women. You all know I have been supporting women for 3 years. Lead Up for Women was built to support women. We invite you to check out leadupforwomen.com and follow us on all social media at Lead Up for Women. Jessica Bargenquast is the founder of Lady Changemakers, an all-inclusive e-commerce platform for women-owned businesses. Jessica is an expert at creating exposure and driving traffic for e-commerce businesses. She launched Lady Changemakers in 2021 in an effort to create a central e-commerce hub for women-owned businesses. Think Amazon, but all lady bosses. I love that. The platform launched with 25 founding members by invite only, but will open up memberships for additional members in 2022. That's this year. Today, she is focused on helping women grow their e-commerce businesses by educating on exposure, SEO, and more. Jessica, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, Colleen. It's great to be on again.
Oh, you're so welcome. I wanted to have you back because you have just made leaps and bounds with Lady Changemakers. From the first time I met you about a year ago when you launched Lady Changemakers and had the directory, I thought it was brilliant to have a place for women to be able to go to find other women businesses. And then you've turned it into just this massive e-commerce platform. So let's go back and talk about, why did you start Lady Changemakers from the beginning? What was your driving force? What is your background? What was your driving force? And then really, I would love to dive into just the explosion of Lady Changemakers over the last year and all the changes and what you've learned.
Yeah. So my entire background is marketing and advertising for the last 15 plus years. And I've always wanted to support women-owned businesses on my own, but couldn't really figure out what my niche was going to be. And then I realized 2 years ago, in 2019, I guess at this recording 3 years ago, that I was having a really hard time finding women-owned businesses. You'd see them pop up in maybe Google alerts or when you were searching for them, but there wasn't a central hub for all of these women-owned businesses. And at the time, I really wanted to be able to go out. I live in Phoenix. So I wanted to be able to leave my house, find a women-owned business to support, and was just finding that really hard to do. So I was on my Instagram, always saving people into my folders on Instagram. And then when I was actually out, I was forgetting to actually pull them back up. So it wasn't an easy way to really support women-owned. And I wanted to make it more than just, the hashtag women supporting women. So I kind of created this directory initially for myself so that I could put them all in one place and then easily be able to find them. Then 2020 hit, the pandemic hit, and local supporting small women-owned businesses wasn't as important as just supporting women-owned businesses all around. So the local aspect was really interesting because that was what my drive was in the beginning, but kind of had a pivot to everyone had to shift online. So really, we didn't need to know if they were local or not. So now we were able to support women-owned businesses wherever we were, just from our couches. So the directory we started with about 50 businesses, and now we're at over 720 now in our directory alone. And then I always have a bigger dream for things. So in 2021, I wanted to I called it the Yelp for Women when we started with the directory. So we went from the Yelp for Women to the Amazon for Women. So as you said in my bio, we started with 25 women-owned businesses, which Lead Up for Women is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And we launched that in November. So just in time for the holidays, so people could shop women-owned businesses for the holidays. So not only can you find and support women-owned businesses, but now you can actually buy from our e-commerce platform.
Yeah. And their products are such high quality. You're going to get products and services. So there's going to be a lot of services that are available and also a lot of products that we can buy. And I have two of my daughters that started an Instagram account here in Arizona called AZ Mom Squad. And that's all they do is advertise for local businesses so that we shop local. And I love that because, instead of giving your money to these large corporations that you don't know who the owner is, I love dealing directly with businesses and the exposure. Let's talk about the exposure alone, because the exposure that you are offering each one of these women-owned businesses is beyond what they could do on their own. And I think that's very important for us to mention, because the reason why Lead Up for Women started is because I wanted to allow women to be seen, be heard, and be visible. So that is essentially what you're doing on this platform. You're giving them more opportunities to be seen, be heard, and be visible. And how are you doing that? Let's walk through how you're able to help them be more visible than they could on their own.
So one of the biggest things that happened during the pandemic was if you were not online, you had to move online for your business to survive. And so we're all online now, which is great for consumers. So consumers can now find any business that they're looking for, but that means that everybody is online. So it's kind of hard for businesses to stand out. So one of the biggest things businesses now need to do is not only do you have to have your own website, but you have to be on OPPs, which is other people's platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So platforms like Amazon, Etsy, Lady Changemakers, these can all give you additional exposure for your businesses. And what it does is it creates SEO, so search engine optimization. It helps you be seen in Google searches, which is kind of our bread and butter. We really focus on the SEO aspects, which is all the back end stuff that I find a lot of business owners just want nothing to do with, but it's actually extremely important for your business to be seen by people who have no idea who you are. So that's really what Lady Changemakers is doing, is drawing in consumers that probably would have never found you otherwise.
Yeah.
And they're finding you through these Google searches. So what we do with our new platform for businesses that have joined into the marketplace is that we optimize all of your product and service listings as well as your profile so that you can start being seen in those searches.
Yeah. And I think it's important to mention that, with SEO, I think the reason why so many women business owners don't mess with it is they don't understand it, right? It's just something that they don't grasp, or they know a little bit about, but they're really not sure the actions that they need to take to get that visibility unless they hire someone and have them assist them with that. So I love it that this is another layer of SEO for a women-owned business to get visible, right? The goal is to change the landscape of how women business owners appear forever, right? We want to be holding more chairs. We want to be holding more seats in executive leadership in Fortune 500 companies, and having the self-esteem and the confidence to open and run a successful business and not just run a side hobby. And I say that because so many women I meet, Jessica, they just say, well, it's a side hustle, pays for my family's vacation, and that's really all I do it for. Or they'll tell me, well, it's not about the money. I just want to make an impact. Well, Think of the greatest impact you could make if you had more money. If people actually
Mhm.
paid you for your services, let's think about the greatest impact you could make, which is what we should all be aiming for. So changing that landscape is crucial, and you're part of that in how we're
Yeah,
doing.
I couldn't agree with you more, especially because, I mean, all the data and research shows that when women do better in their own businesses, our communities do better because women reinvest so much of their extra income into our communities and their families, much more so than men do. I think men only reinvest about like 20 to 30% of their income into their families and their communities, and women, it's up to 90%.
Wow.
So, I mean, one, I think we're probably giving a little too much sometimes, but we are the ones who are really driving the change in our communities. And if we can create more successful businesses, then we can in return create better communities and changes that we want to see.
Totally agree. So, what has working with women done for you? What have you noticed in working with women and the women that you've met and the changes that you've made in Lady Change Makers from the very beginning when it was just simply a directory and it really wasn't much more than that? And now you've exploded it into just there's graphics and visuals and SEO and they're linked to Instagram and all the other pages. What caused that change? What created that change for you? When did it become a point where you were like, I like this directory, but I want it to be something more? And why did you want to do that?
I think it's just driven with the impact that I want to make in the world. I've had to work through a lot of things personally with my background being marketing and advertising. I come from a lot of male dominated industries. So, really, when I grew up in my professional world, it was really pitting women against each other. There's only enough room for one or two women in these top seats, and you have to really claw your way to the top. And it never felt right for me to be in those kind of positions. And I've always just wanted a more supportive role of helping women, making sure that there's enough room for us all at the top together, more than enough room. So it was really driven by this. I just want to see women succeed. I want to be that catalyst for them to succeed. And just working together with other women, with Lady Changemakers, it's been magic, honestly. I have loved it so much because I've met so many amazing women like you. I met you very early on in my journey, and I was
Mm-hmm.
a completely different person. For anyone that doesn't know me, super introverted, one of the most introverted people you will ever meet. I almost canceled on Colleen on a webinar I was supposed to do with her because I was just so terrified. But it was really just the support that we give each other that I've been able to continuously grow. The collaborations that I see women doing together we've collaborated before, and it's just so positive. I
Yeah.
hear a lot of people talking about negativity online and stuff, but I've really cultivated a community that I love nurturing, and I just find it so supportive online for Lady Changemakers. We really truly do want to see each other succeed, and we help each other when we need it. We support each other financially,
Mm-hmm.
emotionally. It's just really interesting to see how women work together versus how women and then men and men work together. It's just completely different on how
Yeah.
we actually support each other. And that was one of the biggest lessons I had to learn. It's because I just coming from a male dominated industry, it's just no emotions ever. So I really had to learn how to put emotions back into business, which I was
Mm-hmm.
not used to at all. It's something I had to invest in myself quite a few times through either masterminds or coaches. One of the biggest changes I made in myself was investing in an Enneagram coach, and that learning about my personality and what actually makes me tick and what makes me thrive changed everything for me. I was able to actually have confidence in myself, and I just constantly invest in other women, and through collaborations or paying for their products and supporting them any way I can. And that has made all the difference for my personal growth and my business growth.
I'm glad you said that because I know that women are more apt to invest in themselves. And when I see that we invest in ourselves more, then we have more to give. We know ourselves better. We're very clear on what our attributes are, what our values are, where we stand and what we stand on. And then we can go from there. And women are not afraid to invest in themselves to learn about that. So I'm so glad to hear that you took the time, and it was through that coaching and through the time that you spent with other people learning more about you. So ladies, take that as a lesson today. If you're not clear on who you are, what makes you tick, why you're so awesome, what I call your secret sauce, because we're our own best first impression. If you don't know what that is, then you need to go find that. And there's a lot of resources within Lady Changemakers and Lead Up for Women that can assist you. We're communities of women that can assist you in finding those great supporters that can guide you through the process. And we vet them, right? So we're vetting them, you're vetting them. So you're going to find women that are there for the right reason to support other women. And it's not, you're right, it's not like it is in corporate. And I had to learn that, Jessica, too, honestly. I was just interviewed on a TV show last week, and she said to me, when your name came to me when I was meditating, I said no 3 times. And I said, why? And she said, because when I first met you, I didn't think you liked me. You were so intense. You were very standoffish. And that was me coming from my corporate world. I met her very early on. I think I was still in corporate when I met her. And it was just a different world. Like, you had to be different. We had to kind of squish ourselves into this peg of who we didn't want to be. It's not like we wanted to be that person. It was survival mode in corporate America, right? I remember several men telling me, you can't show any emotion in these meetings. And I've been told to not speak in meetings, like you're to listen and not speak. And if anyone told me that now, the response would be a little different. But I think back then, and it was just lessons that we had to learn. But I'm so thankful that I've grown into and continue to grow into the person I'm meant to be, because that's the only way we can serve others indefinitely. Really, we need to know who we are. And when we know who we are and what value we bring to others, that's when we thrive. But we can't skip that. We can't skip that step. So that's a really important step to talk about.
Yeah, the amount of times in corporate that I've been told to stop being introverted. I don't know how to stop being myself. It's kind of part of who I am. So I don't think a lot of people actually understand being extroverted and introverted is not a choice. It's just who you are. You can still appear on podcasts and webinars as an introvert, but that's just who I am at my core. So really accepting that as a part of who I was really only happened this year. And because I stepped into who I truly was, I was actually invited to speak on a stage this year in front of 300 women. It was absolutely terrifying, but I was so proud of myself that I did it and got to show up as a true introvert and inspire other shy, introverted people that if I can do that on a stage, so can they.
I remember seeing those photos and commenting, and I was like, oh my gosh, Jessica, I'm so proud of you. This is like the best thing I've ever seen, going from someone who's afraid to show up on Zoom and have a conversation with other ladies to someone in front physically on a stage with 300 people. That is a huge monumental change in your life. And it just goes to show that also the more that we are open to where we're being guided and where we are needed, that things will happen. And
that is really key.
Opportunities come.
Yeah, you have to be open to the change. So if you're resisting the change, it's not going to come easy to you. It's not. I just had to just kind of surrender. And if it wasn't going to work, it wasn't going to work. And at least I tried. So everything has worked out so well because I have invested in myself, and because I do really well with monetary investments. So if I invest a big chunk of change, I'm going to get my money's worth from that. So I really stepped into all of these challenges head on and took them on. And I saw just such beautiful things happen within myself. And then it just happened with my business. My business this year got a lot easier once I accepted who I was, once I embraced it. I embraced the nerdiness this year, which has paid off really well. So I'm a stats and research kind of person. So I've just kind of been educating people on SEO and how to grow their businesses and really stepping into that And I've loved this journey this year. It's been really exciting to finally see things fall into place when I was struggling so much the year before.
Yeah, a lot of explosive growth for you. And I love
Mhm.
that. I think it is excellent. And we all need to realize that, when you feel like things are unsettling and you're getting uncomfortable and explosiveness is happening for you, just accepting that, like you said, and welcoming the opportunity. It wouldn't be there if you couldn't handle it, right? They're always there because it's greater than what we think we can handle, but our little pea brains can't possibly comprehend what we are really able to handle. And
Mhm.
so I love that. I love that you shared that. So talk to me a little bit more about Lady Changemakers. Let's share with our listeners how they can find you online, why they would want to be part. So they're a female owned business and they want more exposure. Why would Lady Changemakers be the best place for them? So explain what they get from that, and then go ahead and talk to us about your gifts and things that you have today as well.
Yeah. So Lady Changemakers, we still have our directory of over 720 listings. So it is always free to join our directory, which is a great first place to start. If you're just starting your business, you can join that directory for free. Our website's ladychangemakers.com. And then the forefront of our website is now this e-commerce platform, which is really just a marketplace similar to Etsy. But what Etsy does is they charge you fees for everything. So they're going to charge you a fee to list all your products. They're going to charge you a transaction fee, and there's like 5 other fees that they
And
charge you.
marketing fees that you're
Marketing fees.
required to pay for marketing. I have
Yep.
daughters that are on Etsy. They do really well on Etsy, but they pay a lot of fees. Yeah.
And especially if you're just starting out and if you have lower priced products,
Mm-hmm.
your margins are really going to be hurt with the Etsy fees. Amazon does similar things. So I'm really trying to create a platform that takes all that away. So our platform to join the marketplace is a one-time fee. So you're going to pay an entrance fee into the marketplace, and then there's no other fees associated with it. And how it works is that it works with your own website. So when you list your products and services, they actually check out on your website instead of ours, so that we can bypass all of those transaction fees, credit card fees, and it just goes on to your platform. So you can keep all of the profits. I'm just here to really be the catalyst for you to be seen through Google searches and growing our platform on social media. So when you join our marketplace, we do a lot of Pinterest advertising, as well as Instagram, Facebook, and now we're on TikTok as well. So we're trying to grow there. But we have for the lead up community, we have some special packages that we put together just for the lead up ladies. So we have 2 different business packages that maybe we can put in like the show notes for everybody. Yep. But there's one for if you just join the directory, you can actually get additional added value of having a banner on our website. And then if you want to enter the marketplace, you can actually get a newsletter mention, a banner on our website, and then we'll do some social media as well. So we have some added value for the lead up community if they want to join Lady Changemakers.
A lot of bonuses, ladies. Thank you so much, Jessica.
All about that added value for the lead up community. I love the lead up community too. I just need to plug your network lunches. Again, introvert, so I was terrified to attend my first networking lunch. But they were so welcoming, and it was one of the best networking lunches that I have done ever. So I just felt so welcomed. I felt very heard and seen and very supported. And I've met some amazing ladies there that I still talk to today. And this was like a few months ago. So just need to plug your networking lunches that you do. They're amazing.
Thank you. And networking is really how you meet other women, right? And so I highly recommend that you take advantage of our networking opportunities. We do our lunch and learns the first Thursday of every single month. So you can register for those. It's very, very easy to do that. And thank you, Jessica, for sharing that information, and explain to us again where we can find you online. So do we look up Lady Changemakers on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook? It's just at Lady Changemakers, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Everything is at Lady Changemakers. The website's ladychangemakers.com. We're also doing a giveaway. So for my 25 founding members, I put a box together for them of all women-owned businesses, mostly the founding members. So the box is valued at over $250. And we're giving away some of those boxes to the Lady Changemakers community. So if anybody would like to enter to win a box, you can go to ladychangemakers.com/giveaways.
Perfect. We will have that in the show notes for everyone. And thank you, Jessica, so much for being with us today, for really taking the time to get to know who you are, driving past those hurdles and blocks that you had that you didn't think you would ever be able to get through, but those have actually become what fuels you forward. You know, that's part of your personality. It's who you are, and it's what makes you different. And we all need to embrace that. We're perfectly imperfect, and we were created this way for purpose and a greatness. And we just have to lean into that and accept it. Mm-hmm. And just the changes I've seen in Jessica in 1 year, from not wanting to do a Zoom call that was virtual to stepping on a stage in front of 300 ladies, just blows my mind. And you too can do that. And why we support each other is for this purpose, because when more women are out there winning, we all win. I hope everyone understands that we all win. And so that's why I support women. That's why Jessica supports women, because the more you support other people, it comes back to you tenfold. And thank you, Jessica, for being with us today. And ladies, just a reminder for you, remember, you're the only you that has ever been. You're the only you that will ever be, ever. Jessica's the only Jessica out there. There isn't another one, even though they might have her name. There isn't another Jessica with all her awesome quirks, with her awesome integrity and character and introvertedness that creates who she is. And it creates her dynamic personality. So remember that about you, is how you pioneer your future is up to you. You only have one life. We're not promised tomorrow. Today is all you've got. So give it what you've got today, because today will become yesterday. All right, ladies, until next time, be you and be strong, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.